checkup.org.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's a bully, but we aren't afraid of a fight. It's elusive, but our focus never fades. It's deadly, but we were born to defeat cancer. You may not have heard of us, but our work has helped millions impacted by cancer. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We are leaders in advancing breakthroughs in immunotherapy, genomics, and personalized medicine. This research saves lives. After 65 years of fighting blood cancers, we've arrived at a game-changing belief. The cures for cancer are in our blood. The drugs and treatments we've developed for blood cancers have helped people affected by many different types of cancers. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood. Learn more at LLS.org.
The SEC lives here. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, all Vegas. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Let's go!
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
How are you not freaking out right now?
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
Good to the last drop flavor.
The Underdogs are here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's going on, Northwest Florida? You are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes. Got Kyle Wright in the building today. What's going on, Kyle?
Man, always happy to be here. Thursdays have become quickly my favorite day of the week.
And now we're doubling up on the dosage, so we're going straight from here. We're going to be doing the Go to Goats today, man.
Yeah, we got the Go to Goats finale tonight over on the Right On Sports Show. That's going to be me, you, AG, Adam Goff's going to step in, and Nick Gurley. Dude.
And Zach Lesnar.
Is 86.
Yeah, 86. But how many times is it, hey, I want to get in there.
Yeah.
Gets the opportunity to be on the biggest show. Well, I don't want to say the biggest show, but the biggest show of the Go to Goats, we could say that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the finale tonight.
Yeah.
So he gets the opportunity to be on that, and he dips out on us. Man, come on. Your uncle would be sick.
Yep, Brock would be really upset with you right now. And I hope he gets a hold of you at the next family reunion. I'm going to give him a call right after we get off the air today.
Right after that, 850-215-6290 is the number to call today. We're on the radio, 104.3 FM, 102.1 FM in the Mariana area. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and with our TV partner, Blab TV. If you don't have Blab TV with your TV provider, you can get their channel on your Fire Stick or your Roku. Be sure to like and share the Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and download the new app and register, all at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Some of the biggest news that's dropped today outside of the intentional ball on base to Miggy Cabrera for his chance to get to the 3,000 hit club was Jay Wright, the coach of Villanova, stepping away from the program, one of the best to ever do it, really turned Villanova into a powerhouse. Not that they weren't a powerhouse already or a blue blood when he took them over, but where he's taken them since has just been asinine, really. So now he's not what's that, 9 straight NCAA tournament appearances, 2 national championships, multiple Final Four appearances, 16 NCAA tournaments in 21 years with him being the coach. That would have, if they had the 2020 tournament, it would have actually been 17 there, but that was canceled due to COVID-19, the FSU year, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, that always makes me sick to talk about the 2020 season.
All right, so let's talk about it. What pains you the most? I'm your therapist today, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right.
It's just the fact that they would have been the number 1 overall seed probably.
Yeah.
They had a real chance, and they had a real chance to go all the way.
I wish we would have even got a little deeper, and I know for health and safety protocol reasons we couldn't, but just to be able to see that ACC tournament would have been interesting. But yeah, that's one. And the worst part about it is y'all rebounded in 2021. Well, not rebounded, but kept the constant going, and then this last year had a lot of trouble keeping 5 starters on the floor. In fact, y'all ended up with an intramural team pretty much at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had 3 of our original 11-man rotation by the end of the year. And the starting lineup, period. Ugh. So it was very tough for Florida State. But back to Jay Wright, man. I marked down the Final 4 years, 2009, 2016, 2018, but the last 2 right there were both national championships. So he won 2 in 3 years. And then 2022 just made the Final 4 again. So I want to ask you, because he just says he's stepping away from Villanova.
So we're speculating.
Speculation
Let's
Nation.
get it.
Let's get all aboard the Speculation Nation train from Speculation Station and talk about this.
So he's only 60 years old. I know it's not necessarily the right move the day that this happens that we're sitting here talking about where he could go. But if Philly, if the 76ers don't perform to the level, first round, yeah, you're looking pretty good in the driver's seat right now, 3-0 over the Toronto Raptors. But the Toronto Raptors, I mean, we're talking about a team with Pascal Siakam being their go-to guy. It would be interesting, if it doesn't work out with Doc Rivers and the Sixers, if maybe Jay Wright's name gets thrown into a hat. And only 60 years old is where I'm having trouble. Like, Coach K just finished up his last year, and what's he, 94? So, no, he's like 77, right?
Well, that's 94 in coaching
years.
Yeah,
94 in coaching years with all the stress that's added up to it.
Has anybody been named to take the Duke job?
The Duke job? Yeah, John Shire.
Okay.
So pretty. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any open jobs that are Jay Wright, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not in the college lane. You're not gonna,
Right.
you're not gonna leave Villanova to stay in the college landscape. At least in my opinion.
And this isn't college football where you build a team like, well, let's say,
Lincoln Riley is a great,
right,
in a sense, right? Because you had the thing going. Oklahoma's the better product on the field than what USC is. Not saying that you can't get better talent out there, out west in California, but. Yeah, it's kind of you don't leave. Why would you leave Oklahoma for USC? Well, in college football, it's all about what can you do with what you got.
So I guess the question I'm trying to ask is, do you think he's going to go to the NBA? Do you think he might pull a Sean Payton, sit out for a year, and then pick up a job? Because I think 100% that's what Sean Payton's going to do, right?
Well, you always got to wonder about what's going on in the household, right? And I don't mean what's going on, but what is his wife, Patty? What if she's like, look, you've done a great job with Villanova. Maybe you're getting stressed out. Maybe I don't think that a lot of us are thinking about what the coaches are having to deal with not just NIL, but that transfer portal that just doesn't stop changing. You know what I mean? The doors are just
worse.
Wider and wider every day.
Every year, man, it gets worse and worse. And I mean, really,
I was looking at the transfer portal from college football today, and some of the names, I'm just like, it's something that we've always thought was cool, right? The transfer portal, like the ability we see coaches all the time. They're done with the program. They go somewhere else. They get a little bit more money. They're going to go somewhere else. So I do think, these players, a lot of the times are signing up to play not just for the school, but for that particular coach.
Right.
So you got to wonder if that is playing a factor here. And then also take a year off, make some money. He's not a funny guy, but he would be a great analyst. You could put him on college basketball game day. He would do fantastic there. Take a year off, make some money in that department. I think the NBA is going to be the next stop for Jay Wright.
I mean, because we kind of heard mutterings that Doc Rivers might be the favorite to take the Lakers job.
Ooh.
Right? So Doc Rivers leaves Philly and goes over to coach
If you're
the Lakers.
Doc, though, if you're Doc and you've had your time with some of these, divas, right? Do you really go to a place where you lose even more? Because I think right now where he's at, he's even in. Harden hasn't been with the team for the full year, but he's kind of, it seemed like, reeled in Harden. He's not out there taking shots no more, like crazy amount of shots. He's really facilitating the game. Would you want to leave what you've got going now, especially Harden being with you over there at Philadelphia, Embiid possibly going to be the MVP of the NBA, and then go coach LeBron?
Well, he has said in the past that LA is home, and who's going to be able to offer the bigger paycheck, LA or Philly?
Yeah.
That's where it's really going to come down to, because we did just say that this is a money conversation.
Yeah.
It's money is the root of all evil, and money is the main thing that's going to make the thing happen, man.
The love of money, though, is the root of all evil, because money's a tool. Yeah. That's what it is.
It is. But, I mean, I think that could be a possibility. Maybe Jay Wright goes and coaches the Lakers. I mean, maybe that's a situation.
Maybe LeBron's like, I need a guy from college, so I can so I could get my point across a little bit even more so. I don't know. It's really going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because I keep, I'm looking down. I'm like 60 years old. And in the coaching world, if 77 is 94, 60 is only 70 or 74.
I mean, he really could have about 10 to 15 years left of coaching at a high level.
Why not?
Yeah.
But then go to the NBA, because if you can do, here's the other thing. Before I get to if you can prove to the NBA is, what about the guys now, Billy Donovan? Maybe not a lot of success in the terms of championships, but what he's done with certain teams, whenever he got rid of the superstar era in a sense, at OKC, whenever, when Russell Westbrook, the final piece was gone out of there, bringing Chris Paul, it's like, how are you doing it? How are these guys getting into the playoffs? You got to give an immense amount of credit to Chris Paul, no doubt, right? Everywhere he goes, they're just a great team. But Billy Donovan, what's he doing right now in Chicago with DeMar DeRozan being your lead guy?
Well, look at I can't think of his name. The dude from Butler that went to Boston, right?
But he's not even coaching anymore.
He's not coaching them anymore.
It's Stevens.
Brad Stevens.
Look
what he was able to do coming up as well. I mean, he did a great job.
He did a great job in the college world, then gets to the NBA level. I think he was a little.
Did good with Boston.
He did do good, but then he moved up to the front office, which that was perplexing as to why he did that. But it looks like he's doing a pretty good job right now, right?
Number 2 seed, and got to be kind of one of the favorites out of the East right now, right?
Dude. It's been so fun because the Brooklyn Nets are one of those teams that you kind of, if you're not a Brooklyn Nets fan, you want to root against them, right? You want to, if LeBron was in the playoffs, if you're not a Lakers fan or a LeBron fan, you're going to root against those guys. I think the difference here with the Warriors is because they don't have that pure superstar team anymore, they've become a fun team to watch again and a fun team to root for. I mean, if you give me Golden State and Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals, that's going to go nuts. I know a lot of people said last year, we had the Bucks and the Suns and didn't want to watch it. That was one of my favorite series because, you didn't have a lot of big names, but either way it goes, you're making history here. Either first time for Phoenix to win or with Milwaukee, first time in a long time since Kareem was over there.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you were going to have somebody earn their first championship that was absolutely important for the NBA. Chris Paul, Giannis Antetokounmpo, somebody was going to get that first ring. And unfortunately, on the ratings side of things, it didn't really translate to – I mean, it translated to us, like the mega fans of sports, right? But it didn't translate to the guy that is not a basketball fan. Like, that's where you want to have a team like Golden State get there.
Yeah. So. And the way that Jordan Poole is playing right now, I mean, the Splash Brothers are now a threes company instead of just two. And I guess they were in a sense when they had KD, but you don't just necessarily, or at least myself, I don't think of KD as a perimeter pure shooter. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's an all-around one of the greatest scorers to do it.
I mean, he went 18 for 20 from the three-point line.
From the free throw line last night. But then he went 4 of 17 from the field, and everybody's all up in arms about that. But they're all Jayson Tatum. And don't get me wrong, Jayson Tatum is playing great ball, but tell me what he did from the field last night. He went 5 of 16 from the field.
More efficient.
So by one shot, though. And he did take one less shot, so percentage-wise, it's barely up there. And the reason I'm pushing for Boston to move on is I love watching defense being played. That's one of my favorite things because it's been like a lost art for a little while. So to see a team thrive, it's polar opposites here. You've got the Brooklyn Nets who no defense at all, a plethora of offense. Then you look over at the Celtics, they don't, you're not sitting there thinking, oh, they're going to put up 120 points every night. No, but they might keep you from scoring 110 plus every night. 105 in that area. And when you can do that and you get Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, dude, the defense that he plays, how long has it been since in the NBA we had a defensive player of the year that was a guard?
I mean, I'm trying to think back. Maybe MJ?
I think it happened
it's been a little
after
bit more
that.
recent than that, right? Maybe Dwayne Wade. I know he led the
It would have to be something that I have to
all-time
look up.
blocks leader for guards.
Well,
So
speaking
maybe.
of some playoff records, though, whose record did Michael Jordan break when he set this NBA single-game playoff scoring record with 63 points? 850-215-6290. We're playing some trivia here.
Also, if you know who the last guard was to win Defensive Player of the Year, call us with that information.
And we'll
I'd like
double
to
up.
know.
Yeah, man, we'll give out 2 trivia prizes today.
Oh, well,
if
there
you
you
know
go.
who the last player, the last guard to win NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and me and Kyle verified that, then you are going to win. I don't have a prize package set up for that, but for the trivia question, 850-215-6290, we're going to be doing $25 to Rib Crib, an ESPN t-shirt, and a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock. We've got a caller ringing in right now. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Who we got on the air with us?
This is Jeremy, guys. How's it going today?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Which are you answering? Are you going to answer the guard question, or are you going to answer the trivia question?
I'm going to go with the last guard to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Who you got?
I got Gary Payton.
Oh, the glove. Is that the
That's
correct
right.
answer?
That is incorrect.
That is incorrect answer. Hey, Jeremy, thanks so much for the call, buddy. Thanks so much. All right, 850-215-6290. If you're watching on Blab TV, if you're watching on Facebook Live, there is a hint right in front of you, but you really can't see it. Let me drop this down for a second. There's a hint for everyone out there right now. Kyle pretty much gave the answer away. We're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout. 850-215-6290. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Kyle Wright. We'll be right back. Stick with us, y'all.
Weather forecast overnight, mostly clear skies on the low 60s, a south wind becoming east at around 10 miles per hour. High pressure is going to work overtime to give us a nice Friday and weekend. Mostly sunny skies, low 80s on Friday, and it'll stay around 80 to 85 over the weekend. We'll go with partly to mostly sunny skies. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Paul Feinbaum Show.
Coach Kirby Smart, how are you?
Doing great, Paul. Staying busy. It's been fun. It's been really exciting, but the honeymoon's long over when we started spring practice. But you know how short the memory is in the SEC. You've seen a lot of folks kind of enjoy that too long and not turn it around. So we've been focused really hard on next year. There's so much work that goes into every season. You can't sit back and look at the last one.
Weekday evening, 6 to 10. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Swampy Jack here. I've traveled the world for decades and brought my most exciting adventures to Panama City Beach. Encounter the 25-foot-tall Swamp Ape. This indoor scrambler ride is synchronized for a multimedia experience like you've never felt. Put the pedal to the metal, racing around the Marrakesh track in electric go-karts. Supercharge your cart with special power-ups for extra speed or to sabotage opponents. And if you're hungry, grab a meal at Swampy's Cantina or enjoy an ice-cold beer. This and more at Swampy Jack's.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Hi, this is Coach James Hale. Keeping your car looking great is easy as 1, 2, 3 at Blue Sky Express Car Wash. By joining their monthly wash club, you'll get the best bang for your buck. In just 2 car washes, your monthly membership pays for itself, starting at only $19.99 a month. What are you waiting for? Become a member today at Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Back Beach Road next to Home Depot. Tell them Coach Hale sent you.
Live from the Rib Crib Studio. Doing what other stations can't. The Afternoon Underdogs is live and local. 850-215-6290.
Always be sure to listen for the dial tone.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back into the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, also 102.1 in Marianna. Before we get to that, got to give a big shout out to my guy, LJ Padilla, standing at 5'11", 180 pounds in the middleweight class. That's the most exciting division. He'll be fighting June 18th at Beatdown at the Beach 25. He's a Marine, served in Iraq, high school state wrestling champion. He also works for and is sponsored by not only ourselves, but Bay Handyman Services. No job too small. Give him a call, 850-753-5014. He also fights for Impact Promotions and Rob Moriarty. Let's pack out Lake Town June 18th. I want to hear the whole venue just LJ, and we will, because he's going to be putting his opponent, whoever it may be, to sleep. And that's going to be brought to you by Sleep Center, putting people to sleep since 1995. That's a free plug for you, Sleep Center. Holla at your boy.
He's also on Facebook Live right now.
Hey, my man, LJ, appreciate the support, my friend. Kyle Wright, though, let's go ahead and revisit
I appreciate
our trivia
this
question.
One alley-ooped across the table to me. Speaking of putting people to sleep, we've never claimed to be a good radio show.
Just a radio show.
Just a radio show, so thank you for keeping us on. Jeremy, whoever that was that just called, I have a confession to make. I'm a bit of an idiot.
I know.
I was reading an article, and I said...
You're not a bit
Michael
of an
Jordan.
Idiot. That's an understatement.
It said that Michael Jordan was the last one that won it in 1988.
Yeah.
So and obviously, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, we just did a trivia poll for the last guard to win Defensive Player of the Year. Jeremy called, said Gary Payton. I told him he's dumb. Hang up, get off our station. Well, it turns out you're not dumb at all. The correct answer was Gary Payton. The article I was reading was talking about the last shooting guard to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Gary Payton, of course, being point guard.
So there you have it, Jeremy. You got it, and I'll figure out a prize package for you, man. You know, we will always keep our listeners satisfied. We got a text in from Darian, Reds fan, says, great to hear Kyle again. I disagree there, but hey, it's great to have him in here with me. But no, he wants you to talk about the Reds for a minute. First, before you get into that, it is very perplexing to me, the amount of Cincinnati Reds fans that we have in this area. And you know what? I love it, man. I love having such a, diverse fandom in this area, no matter what sport we're talking about. Baseball, football, basketball. It's awesome, and that makes sports even more so fun here in this area rather than being in a place like Atlanta where it's like, everybody's going for the same team. So rather than arguing, you're just complimenting each other all the time.
I don't think Atlanta's all going for the same team.
Yeah, you're right. They're okay, Philly guy. Yeah. I'm about to turn your mic off already.
They're the Atlanta Braves. Milwaukee Bucks.
You got Atlanta people giving up on the Falcons and picking other teams and then going back to them.
Just looking at you, old school. You turd. All right.
You turd.
What's his name?
Justin. This is Justin.
I'm talking about the guy that texted about the
Darian
Reds
fan is how I have him saved into the. I'm
Darian.
like, man, you got short-term memory loss over there.
Darian, I'm going to give myself a free plug here. Check out the Seeing Reds podcast on Spotify. Seeing Reds, Twitter, Seeing_Reds. That's me and AG. Does the show with Dave on Fridays.
Yeah, and such a great name for a podcast. If you're a Reds fan, you're absolutely seeing red right now.
I'm seeing black at this point. I'm just blacked out. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Blacked out without drinking. That's what Reds baseball do to you.
A team that was already going to be terrible now has a league leading 13 people on the IL, and not like your average your ham and eggers. We've got Luis Castillo on the IL. We've got Jonathan India, Mike Moustakas. Dude, we're decimated. Tyler Stevenson looks like he might be heading to the IL because of Luke Voigt's dirty nature. Almost went on a Right on Sports show rant there. But I'm going to settle myself down and not say any
you gotta save that.
FCC disapproved words here on this station. But yeah, I mean, on the side of the Reds, I'll say more tonight because we're recording our podcast after the sports show. Not super pleased.
So Green's the only guy you guys really got worth a damn right now.
I mean, really? I mean, Yeah, dude. I mean, I wouldn't even say. I mean, he's at a. Like
and he might throw that arm out here.
To
pretty
take
quick
it to
if
your
he keeps it up.
Facebook comment, he's a diamond in a pile of poo.
Yeah, he
We'll
is.
keep it rated PG.
He is, but I mean, is he a diamond? Because he's got like a 5.8 ERA. I mean, he's pitching good. He's doing decent. He just broke a major league record, which is pretty cool. But how long can you sustain that before you need Tommy John surgery? A week?
That's a good point. Well, maybe longer than a week because
Okay,
he's
a
already
month?
another week.
I mean, being on the Reds doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Maybe reeling in a little bit. Throw a curveball every now and again. Throw you a 70-mile-an-hour changeup.
It's still insane to me that we're talking about a team with 2 wins, and their 2 wins happen to be against the World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves, which you guys can listen to. We're off tonight, but you guys can listen to them tomorrow, right after the Afternoon Underdogs. We'll be kicking that off at 6 o'clock. But y'all's 2 wins against the Atlanta Braves,
Yes,
man.
sir. We win when it matters, baby.
And you said to take people into our conversation outside earlier, he was like, I kind of hope that the Reds lose. I hope I'm not putting too much out there. I hope the Reds lose till we play Atlanta again so that our next 2 wins will be against Atlanta.
We'll do the 3-game sweep of Atlanta and Cincinnati, finish the season 5-157. I don't care because I'll be able to talk to all the Braves fans here.
That's like me with the Eagles, man. As long as they beat the Dallas Cowboys twice a year, I consider it a winning season as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, we'll go 2-14.
They go 2-15.
That's what's
as long
so
as they
funny
win
about
those 2
that's
games.
why the NFC East is the way that it is, right? Because it's like we don't care about nothing but 2 games a year times 3. That's 6 games a year. If we can go into the next season at 6-11, we're fighting for a playoff spot.
That's it, baby. You just got to win your division and get in.
Absolutely.
Hey, so we had a triple play last night. I don't know if you guys got to see that. Rangers
Speaking
first
of the
baseman.
Reds.
They had a triple play? Oh,
No.
it was turned on them?
No, it was Jesse Winker to hit it. So.
Oh. I was about to say, I didn't know the Rangers were playing the Reds last night, but
No.
Nathan Lowe, 3-6 triple play. Probably could have done it by himself, just a 3 triple play. That would have been funny to see in the scorebook.
Unassisted, right?
Yeah, well, it was assisted, but if
I'm
it
saying
would
if
have,
it would have
been an
unassisted,
unassisted triple
yeah.
play. I wonder how many. I would have to ask Sam Peebles about how many unassisted triple plays. Actually, if you go on Baseball Reference, I'm pretty sure that would be a
Pretty sure you
findable
can
stat.
find it, yeah.
All right, but what about North Central Texas College? All right, this guy Josh Phillips, he hits a home run. Josh Phillips hits a home run against Weatherford College as he rounded third. Weatherford pitcher Owen Woodward
Laid the wood
They say,
word.
yeah, he laid the wood forward, didn't he? Because he turned into a linebacker. I think it was more like a safety hybrid type Jamal Adams type smash. But one of the greatest tackles that I've ever seen. If you saw the video, how many yards do y'all suppose that his helmet flew?
Pretty far. I mean,
That was like 15 yards, bro.
That would have been one of the best tackles in football history. So it was definitely the best in baseball history.
And then, so he got suspended, right? 4 games. That's it. We was talking outside. We've got a guy training on the board right now, Justin. He was like, you got to be thinking that he's in the dugout, not kicking himself at all, but saying, I was worth it.
Yeah, 4 games.
Worth it.
Yeah.
As a starting pitcher, by the way, where he might not even pitch for
That's
4
a start.
games. Right.
You're probably missing a start.
He might miss a
And
start.
For pitchers, they should make it at least – it's at least 1 game. Even if you have to miss 1 game, it should be at least 1 start if you're a pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that he's, and I'm not certain on this, I believe he's a relief pitcher, though, because this was late in the game.
Okay. Well,
But still,
in
it's
high
still
school, he
in-
probably plays another position as
No,
well.
this is college. This is college.
Oh, this is college.
North Central
Okay, so
Texas
he's a relief
College,
pitcher.
yeah.
Oh, well.
This guy pitches for Weatherford College.
So he might miss 1 appearance
That's
still.
the way to get around it, unless
But-
they make it like a minimum of so many innings if you're like a reliever or closer.
That might not be a bad way to go about it by putting – that's just such a tough
You see coaches in
pie
like
to
college
split.
football, like to punish their own players, they'll like sit them like for the first half of a game.
If I'm a
or something
coach,
like that.
if I'm a coach, don't get me wrong, I love I love the passion that you've got, but I'm suspending my guy longer than 4 games after something like that, just for like setting the bar for the rest of the team. Because only 4 games. Think about how often this could happen. Now, if we want to make this. Now, I'm not saying I'm not asking you. I'm saying if I was a coach, I would have.
Some stuff, some crappy, like I'm not talking about push-ups
Field
and,
work.
and stuff like that. But yeah, just do something else. I mean, you
Yeah,
want
here's-
to play.
Okay, right. But what I'm saying is that's not a part of baseball, right?
Yeah.
That's not. But if we want to make it a part of baseball, then I'm all fine with that.
We're going live action slugfest.
Slugfest,
baby.
dude. Like
Instead of hockey dropping the gloves, you just drop the glove.
you drop the glove, other
Or the
dude
batting
drops the bat. Yeah. sling the helmet down.
And you just throw your hands off.
No, I think it should just be made mandatory that no matter who wants to fight, you're not allowed to fight unless you're the catcher. Both catchers gear up and they go at it.
As long as they're both wanting to go
with bats.
And they both give the sign that they're both down with throwing punches like they do in the NHL.
Yeah.
Let them go. And then if it starts getting ugly, you get the ref getting in between and separate.
Yeah, refs are like, oh, so y'all just put us in charge of talking on mics, and now you want us to separate these guys?
You want to get the ratings up for Major League Baseball?
Do that.
That's an idea. That's an idea, right?
I don't
have a penalty box on top of the dugout. I know it's not going to happen, but
baseball players, they're too weak. Unfortunately, you have a handful of guys like back in the day. Kyle Farnsworth, he would have been ready to throw down.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan at any given time.
He'd throw down.
Yeah.
Amir Garrett.
I'm sure that there's a lot of guys.
We know Rugnet Gordor will throw down.
We're talking about 40-man rosters on each team. I'm sure that there's a lot of guys that would not mind throwing down if they were allowed to do it. In baseball, y'all should listen to this.
Tommy Pham was trying to fight Luke Voigt the other day. They were trying to get it on after the game.
Are they allowed to fight in college hockey? That's my next question. I don't know the answer to it.
Well, it'll scrums.
Even when I'm watching scrums, right? I get that. So but all right. So hear me out though. The reason why I'm asking that, even in international hockey, right? You don't really see fights. You'll see scrums, but you don't see fights. Because my question is, if they started doing that at Major League Baseball level, what would the trickle down effect be? You know what I mean?
Right.
But they don't, in hockey where you're allowed to fight, it doesn't happen as much. High school basketball, college basketball, you'll get a little bit of it, but you get a lot more scrums, in my opinion, without watching every single game that goes on at the NBA level. So I don't think that it would be as big of a problem as what the big media people would make it out to be.
Well, that's the problem. You're just going to have too many talking heads out there saying it's not traditional and it's too much violence. It's just like anything else, man. If you don't like it, turn the channel. You put something else on. Why do we got to appease everybody?
That's how you got the nickname Caveman, by the way.
Turn the channel.
Just turn the channel. Take the nets down. We're taking a break. 850-215-6290. Give us a call. Holler at Kyle. We're going to be on all day today. It feels like 2 hours here. Then one and a half hour. Whatever happens later on the Right On Sports Show. Stick with us, y'all.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your radio home for live and local sports coverage. For the most high school and college sports from right here in our local area, it's the Coach James Hale Show, weekday mornings 7 till 9. Then the ride home is alive and kicking with the Afternoon Underdogs, covering the gamut of sports. Plus, the radio home for the defending world champion Atlanta Braves. Your local sports station is ESPN Northwest Florida.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey-gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
The brand new Burger King in Weewa Hitchka is looking for managers and team members. You'll get to use your smile and personality and get paid for it. You'll be responsible for getting guests excited about their experience every day at Burger King. You'll get to work in a safe, productive environment that allows employees to thrive and advance with career opportunities. Burger King promotes from within. They offer training and development, flexible schedules, employee meal discounts, and scholarship opportunities. Burger King is an equal opportunity employer. Interested job seekers should text 007-8075 to 31063 to apply. Must be at least 16 years of age.
Live from the Rib Crib Studio. Hot takes, the latest trades, in-depth interviews.
That is my reaction.
We break it down for you right here.
Very big springboard for the rest of my career.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
That's the problem right there.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back in. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Also now on 102.1 in the Mariana area. Sounding crystal clear over that way. Real quick Braves update, and then want to get into some fun GOAT conversation. Not go to GOAT. It's a little twist on it, though.
Yeah.
Just a little tease for tonight. Braves update, though. Off today, we've got a 3-game set with the Marlins. You can listen right here starting at 6 o'clock. After the Afternoon Underdogs. Also in a trade today, we brought back Jesse Chavez from the Cubs in exchange for Sean Newcomb. So if you're a Braves fan, you should absolutely be ecstatic about that. He joined us last year about midway through the season, and he can eat up some innings. He's one of those guys, what they try to utilize Sean Newcomb in when the starter just can't get past the 3rd or the 4th inning, bring in Nuke. He can't throw a strike, so he's off to Chicago. We'll see how that works out for him, but it's good to have Jesse Chavez back with the Atlanta Braves. Now, tonight at 7 o'clock, right on Sports Network, also in the Right Sports Group.
Yep.
Or right on Network, Right Sports Show, right on Sports Show.
Yep, you're good.
So we've got the Go to Goats.
Yes,
so tell
sir.
them about, kind of, summarize what we've been doing and how we've got to the place that we're at.
All right, so about, I want to say back in maybe February, the beginning of February, right before Valentine's Day, the news comes out Tom Brady's retiring, which, by the way, is funny because that's the whole reason we started this whole thing is Tom Brady retired.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the GOAT of GOATs? Let's find out through let's find out through.
I told you!
Almost. Let's find out through a big tournament of 72 people. We took 72 names, put them in a randomized bracket, and we've come down to the final 4, which are Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, Michael
MJ
Jordan,
and Gretzky, right?
And Wayne Gretzky, who, by the way, Wayne Gretzky's getting some serious disrespect on that poll. We're going to...
Is it comment-wise that you're talking?
A little bit of both.
Because...
He needs to win.
Well, my thing with what Wild Will Dittman says about Gordie Howe, anyone who is I looked 3 or 4 different lists today out of, I probably looked at 6 total. It was a good split of Gretzky or Howe. The way I look at it, and purely opinionated, is that Gordie Howe was kind of like the Babe Ruth of baseball, where he's held to this standard or whatever, but he was playing. I was just going to finish up with, he was playing against 5 other teams. It was a 6-team league, and then at the 80s, whenever he retired, when he was like 50 years old playing with both of his sons, they only had 21 teams in the league.
A lot more watered-down league when Gretzky was playing. He had nothing but all-stars, basically, when you had 6 teams playing back pretty much when Gordie Howe was playing for the most part. And so, as far as I'm concerned, Gretzky is the GOAT because you had a lot more people in the league. There was a big change, too. You had all the Europeans started coming over, like in the late 70s and early 80s when Gretzky was playing. And that was part of the reason why he had the success he had. If you look at the guys he played with on his lines, guys like Jari Kurri and Esa Tikkanen, they're not North American players. Those guys from over in Finland.
I could tell from the name.
So, and the way they play, they play a different style of game that's not as physical, like you were saying, with the fighting and stuff like they have in the Olympics. That's one of the biggest reasons why. And part of the reason why, too, is the bigger ice space. So it's not as congested, so guys aren't clashing and bumping into each other and hitting each other so much.
Yeah.
So hence you're probably going to have a lot less of the scrums and the fighting because of that.
Great
Fair
take
enough.
from Caveman.
I like it. I don't really get to look at hockey in that kind of aspect because my fandom kind of started maybe about 8 or 9 years ago.
And
really.
but you would have had to been, or at least
They got
myself, I would
books
have been but still,
videos.
even with books and videos, right, are bets, because when you live through the era, like we've been for us, the John Elways, the Brett Favres. It's like we witnessed that. So we watch documentaries and learn even more so. Whereas with the Gordie Howe, with the Babe Ruth, with just go up to anybody, Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana even, like he played in the tail end of our generation.
That was
but
a Dolphins fan,
all
Dan
we
Marino.
get,
That's my biggest one. Like I didn't get to see
Dan
that
Marino
happen.
I got to watch a little bit more of, but not enough
You're a
to.
little older than me.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's kind of one of those things where we can only piece together other people's thoughts, whereas we got to create our own thoughts and perspectives of these other guys. So we maybe hold them to a biased higher standard.
Oh yeah, that's
or not higher standard, but in our list they're higher just because
of because of the
that.
recency bias and you've seen them, and that's understandable.
So as lists go on for the rest of time, they will just get worse and worse and worse. But that's not anyone's problem. That's just the way that sports goes. So what do we want to do here? Do we want to get into the GOAT of eras? We only got we got about 6-7 minutes. We can get into that. Just kind of teasing for tonight. So like you said, just to kind of run that back, we've got Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, Wayne Gretzky, and Michael Jordan. And we basically got the whole group to pick 2 of those, and then we'll whittle down the final GOAT of GOATs tonight.
Yeah, we're going to be able to do it. We got it down to the final 4. Go join the Right Sports group. You got a little bit longer there to get your vote in. You get 2 people. Like you just said, you get to pick 2 people, and they'll move on to the finale, which is actually going to be.
But isn't it head-to-head? Don't you have, like, Serena going against, like,
No,
Tiger,
the way he did
it, MJ and Gretzky, I thought.
The way I did it is I wanted us to to actually have a chance to make a decision on the show.
Okay, I thought I was looking at the bracket. Okay.
So that's the way it should have been laid out, right? But I did it a little bit different. I took the final 4 people and had people vote for 2 people. And then, oh my goodness,
it's getting thick in here, boy.
I smelled something come in the door.
All right, just a couple more minutes, or you could do that over there today, bro. Just join.
Just stand on up.
Let's go. AG in the building. I'm gonna cut that mic up for you, man, dude. This is gonna be fun. And then we've got the real fishing report today at 5:15. So excited about that.
I'm excited to talk to Tim.
Yeah.
Today. I'm very excited because I've been.
You got a specific question for him?
Yeah. Well, you remember we were talking last time he was here. Well, when we were here, not last time he was here as a whole, but last time he was here with us at least, and even you because you were out last Friday.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I was out all week last week.
I was talking about getting into surf fishing, and I got some more questions for him for today.
Yeah, you went surf fishing yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, not a single bite.
Not a single bite.
5
We're gonna
hours.
change that. We're going to change that today. Tim is going to put you on game with the Real Fishing Report at 5:15 today. Y'all make sure that you tune in. So let's play along with it. Now we've got AG, we got K-Man. We can only do one sport. So we're going to do the go to the eras. We're going to do 80s, 90s, thousands, and the tens, right? Do y'all want to do NFL or do y'all want to do NBA?
I will tell you that I have all my listed for NBA and I don't for NFL.
So let's do it NBA. But the caveat is, and you guys don't have to do it, but I feel like when you're doing – no, I'm saying you don't have to do it the way that I'm doing it because I've got 1 and 2 because I just feel like all of ours are going to be pretty much the same outside. So let's start with the 80s, and I'll go with – I've got the wrong list here. For the 80s, it's
Did
really –
I interrupt a break, by the way?
What do you mean interrupt a break?
I didn't know if I was coming in right on a break or not.
Oh, no. We got like 5 more minutes in this segment.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good, brother.
You're good.
For me, it's really for me a tie between Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. So my second guy out of that, I'll just count them as a tie, say it's 1. A lot of people I think would put Kareem, but I'm going to go with Moses Malone because if you would have put him on that Lakers team without Kareem, I don't know. But especially you had him with Kareem, who knows what the individual accolades that Moses Malone could have racked up. What you got, AG, for your GOAT of the 80s?
I mean, obviously, I think Larry Bird is my choice there. I mean, Jordan finally started coming into his own around 90 there. Of course, you had the Larry versus Magic kind of phenomenon that really, David Stern kind of took over the NBA right then, and he was gifted not only Larry and Magic, but also Jordan later on. So for me in the 80s, it would be Larry.
I'm just going to hop over to the other side of that rivalry and say Magic Johnson, which is pretty funny because I left him off the bracket.
What you got, K-Man?
I'm going to pick something maybe a little outside the box, but you're going to say it's a homer pick. But I'm going to go Julius Erving, Dr. J.
I like it.
And that's only because he didn't have all those other star players playing with him. Guys like Larry Bird and Magic had playing. So it was tougher for him, only getting 1 championship. But yeah, Dr. J for me.
I'll agree with that. I like that. That's a good take.
All right.
The homer picks are sometimes a good pick, by the way. There's no problem with those.
So for the 90s, I'm going to go with with Mike for the 90s, but my secondary guy is actually going to might be a reach to some. I'm going to go David Robinson. Dominant in the paint. I don't know how well he would fit in today's game, but I loved the Admiral when I was growing up. So David Robinson for me. 90s for you, AG.
Let's go to somebody else.
Okay, no doubt. You've already got a list made up, so 90s.
I got a little smirk on my face. I'm gonna go with the only
LeBron.
Reason,
oh my gosh!
I'm gonna go with the only reason Michael Jordan has a championship. Scottie Pippen.
Okay,
that's my goat of the 90s.
All right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it.
You can come at me if you want. I'm just kidding. It's MJ for me. Undoubtedly.
I mean,
you know, I got to throw a little MJ shade.
He didn't get it done until Scottie came over there. So. Yeah. Not a bad point. Where you at, K-Man?
I have to go back to my argument from when we were doing the Go-to-Goats, and the reason why I picked Jordan and not Kobe in that last day was because if you got Jordan and you're saying he's the GOAT, how can you have another basketball player? So, Jordan.
Yeah.
Simple enough.
All right, so if everybody here is going to go Jordan, let me be a little bit different, right? Obviously, it's Jordan for everybody.
Right, that's why I had to do two.
But, I mean, if you look at the player that kind of stepped in while Jordan was off playing baseball, and he was phenomenal throughout the entire 90s. Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
the dream step, man. I mean, what he did for those 94, 95 Houston Rockets teams, I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal. And still to this day, probably one of the most underrated, not just big men, but players in the NBA, if you ask me.
Well, because it came down to David Robinson and Hakeem Olajuwon. Sure. My dad's favorite player when I was growing up was Hakeem Olajuwon. So it was tough for me there. The difference in those two guys is that I think Hakeem, in today's game, may not have the three, but he's got the shot. You know what I mean?
He can step out and hit that elbow jumper.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Hakeem would be a lot – he would still be a force to be reckoned with in this era of basketball. For the 2000s, I'm going Shaq. Shaq over Kobe for me for the entire 2000s. I think he was one of the most dominant players, and since he's been gone, well, since they started making the backboard stronger, basketball has just not been as exciting, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's Shaq. He changed the game. They put in the zone because of Shaq. I mean, we had the hack of Shaq going on. I mean, the dude was absolutely dominant, and we've never seen a player like Shaq, and unfortunately, in today's game, we'll never see another one.
Yeah.
Shift over to him real quick. I need to
listen.
I'm going Kobe Bryant. I mean, it's Kobe, man. The Mamba. He was just killer. He had the killer instinct, alpha dog. Yeah, Shaq did help him out. God, it would have been amazing if those guys could have kept it together and not been like bashing each other's heads and just couldn't stand each other, But yeah, because of that, I mean, Shaq had that physical specimen, he's bigger than life, so it made it a lot easier for him. Kobe wasn't, so I got to go with Kobe.
I'm gonna jump over and make a homer pick for Caveman here. I'm gonna say AI.
Why not?
Like, listen, I know Kobe's the easy pick, right? But Allen Iverson made the game exciting.
Yeah.
It really brought the spirit of basketball back to the city of Philadelphia after kind of they got the life sucked out of him for a little while.
Pound for pound, he was one of the best players in the NBA.
I could go that route, and he had a stretch there, but like for the whole decade, that was the reason why I didn't want to go AI, because he had a stretch for about 4 or 5 years where he was just phenomenal.
Maybe the tail end of the 2000s is kind of when closer when he went over to the Nuggets with Carmelo.
Because I mean, 01's where they lost to the Lakers, where they won Game 1, where he did the step over.
It was his MVP year, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So my other question on top of that, though, with AI, when we're talking about AI, who would y'all consider the first guy to kind of mesh to bring street ball tactics, if you will? Because it was really handles, and it wasn't necessarily street ball, but it almost looked that way because he was so good with it and so slick with it. Was he the first guy to do it, in y'all's opinion, or was there a guy in y'all's generation that maybe did it first? I mean, Jerry West has some great handles, but it wasn't, it wasn't street ball looking wise.
I don't know. Zeke did his thing. Isaiah Thomas was doing it for a long time. He did it in Indiana.
Pretty good. That's a good pick. I didn't think about him, but yeah.
Zeke was very, very good with the ball.
All right, let's get to one more here for our 2010s. For me, it's LeBron and Steph. Not a tie. It's LeBron overall, but Steph's right there. In a sense, Steph changed the game way more than what LeBron James did.
Yeah, I mean, it's a toss-up between those two, but I don't like either of them.
Yeah.
Steph, I think, ruined the game. With the way he plays, and
very fair synopsis.
All the kids following in his footsteps, trying to shoot half quarters just because they think they can.
I got a story about that. It's
But
sickening.
for me, it's LeBron. We've never seen anybody like LeBron with his size and athleticism. I mean, you look at his championships, and you look at the championships he almost won. We talk about Jack Nicklaus and all his second-place finishes. LeBron was there, too.
Mm-hmm. Great take.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the unpopular choice is LeBron, and obviously you guys know I'm a huge LeBron fan, so he's going to be my number one.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. Yeah. But just to be a little bit different, I want to throw a little love in the way of Kawhi Leonard, just because of how good he was in San Antonio, and then went and brought a championship to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we never thought we'd see.
Yeah, right. Especially some of the teams that they've put together and not been able to get the job done in the past.
And I mean, you can't argue that he was the reason for that success.
I'd probably have to go Steph in this one. I hate LeBron. I'm not going to pick him.
I'll take Messi.
And that would be a promo right there, man. I might need to write that down and cut that later. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. It's David Hayes, Adam Goff, Kyle Wright, Caveman Rick, man. We're going to keep the ball rolling when we get back with Defend Your Stance.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
She's unique. Her number's 51, and she's been nicknamed Area 51. That's her name because when she hits the ball, she nukes it, and it goes into outer space, and she did. I mean, they're playing UCLA, the third game of the year, and UCLA's ranked second.
Weekday mornings 7 to 9, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather forecast overnight, mostly clear skies, light winds, temperatures 60 to 65, and it'll be about 80 to 85 Friday, mostly sunny skies. Friday is going to be a good day to get the car washed because I don't see any rain over the weekend. And the weekend forecast is calling for spring sunshine, warm temperatures in the low 80s Saturday and Sunday, mostly clear Saturday night in the mid-60s or so. We'll keep you updated. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. He keeps me coming back. He cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
Are you concerned about safety when you travel? Emerald Coast Amsel specializes in self-protection. They offer a full line of safety products like men's and women's, RFID wallets, and concealed carry for purses. Lifetime incidental replacement plan and manufacturer's warranty on most items. Give the gift of self-protection and contact Michelle and Rick today, 850-358-2810, or visit their website at emeraldcoastdamsel.com. Emerald Coast Damsel, independent damsel pro for damsel in defense.
PCB Coins and Cards is the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, coins, and trading card games. PCB Coins and Cards carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Coins and Cards has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel, rookie, game used, and autograph cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? Bring it in and let us take a look. We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Coins and Cards on Back Beach Road just east of Florida Linen. Call them today at 850-320-8388.
Damsel in Defense presents Defend Your Stance. Got an opinion? Time to defend it. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are live. We're in the Rib Crib Radio Room. This is Defend Your Stance. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Defend Your Stance is brought to you by Emerald Coast Damsel, Independent Damsel Pro. For Damsel in Defense, you guys are going to be in Tallahassee this weekend.
That is correct, sir.
Hit me with the tagline one time.
Yo, we pity the fool who doesn't use our tool.
All right, so when it comes to the Nets this year, I didn't expect to do this much basketball talk today, but we've just been rolling with the flow today.
It's been good, man. It's been good basketball.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. You got the series with Philadelphia and Toronto kind of getting out of hand, but Steve Nash are the players' fault for this season/playoffs. Where's your head at on that?
I don't know. I mean, to me, NBA head coaches, unless you have one of the top three in the game, a coach is a coach. I mean, they're just out there throwing a ball out on the court and saying go. I don't really put too much stock in, coaches are more scapegoats than they are heroes. So for me,
Frank Vogel.
I don't really think it's a coaching thing. I think it's a player thing, and it's a Celtics thing. I mean, the Celtics are playing really, really good D on them right now. I mean, you see what Durant's doing. It's not a fluke. If he had done it in game 1 and then come out in game 2 and just shined, sure. But he didn't play exactly very well.
And if the Celtics didn't foul him as much, he doesn't have half the points that he had. He got 18 from the free throw line.
Right.
How many of those were actually fouls, though?
That's a good point, too.
Yeah, I mean, that happens all game long. But, no, I don't think it's a Steve Nash problem. I think it's more of the players on the court. I mean, Curry's doing everything that he can, but, Brown looked good yesterday, but they just have to have more from Durant, and Kyrie's got to lead that team.
He only had 10 last night, and Kyrie didn't. I think he was 4 for something from the field as well last night.
That team's going to go how Kyrie goes.
Yeah,
whether Durant is
it's
crazy.
I think it's going to be Durant. I think is going to determine because they're playing that guy physical, and you know what? He's a stick out there. That guy's a twig. He doesn't like the physicality. You get physical with Durant. You get him shy away.
I got to stop you right there, though, because in my opinion, you can have the worst player on your team. And they have, so Luka's out tonight, but the worst player on your team, right, could be a head case, and it could cost your team because of the cancer that they are to the environment. So it should be the way that Durant goes through skill, but because of Kyrie Irving, just his emotions on the floor, like, you got to think, the fans getting to him that much for what he did in game 1. I don't have a problem with what he did, but if I'm a teammate, I'm like, bro, like you're wasting your energy now. You're a guy who walks around a stadium with sage and stuff, and you're wasting your energy on negative stuff.
Everybody knew Kyrie was mentally weak.
Yeah.
Before this.
Right, 100%. But it's still one of those things.
You got a mental weak player and you got a physically weak player, and that's not a good mix when you mix
all them Philly people, boy. He's weak. He's weak.
But how can you not
That's
argue
that Philly
that,
love,
though?
is what it is.
How can you not
That's
argue that?
Philly
I mean,
love.
they're being physical with Durant. You can tell the guy doesn't work out. I mean, he's just not a physical, specimen. So, like, when you start pounding on a guy like that, he's not going to hold up.
He needs some Rogaine, too.
Yeah.
Everyone always
But
talks about LeBron's balding.
Yeah, LeBron
Let's look
has
at
that
KD.
stuff too, but it's
They got the
just
Friar
don't
tuck
care.
going
I mean,
on
they're
with the
making that
ball
much
right here in
money.
the
Who
middle.
cares, right? You're making that much money. Who cares? What I think
I
is
feel like
funny
LeBron cares more than KD.
What I think
KD
is
just
funny
lets
is
it go.
watching Kevin Durant's mom in the stands just harping on the refs. I thought that was funny.
All
I
right.
love it.
You got a take on that?
Well, I mean, just my answer is that it's obviously the player's fault, and Kyrie more specifically than KD. I mean, I know KD's a superstar. And funny, listening to Greeny before we came on the air, said that when LeBron had a bad playoff appearance, we're still talking about it 11 years later against the Mavericks, and KD's just getting his free pass, and nobody's really bashing him. But Caveman said it perfectly. Mentally weak. This is the problem. This is the problem he had in Cleveland. This is the problem he had in Boston, and now it's the problem he's having now.
Yeah, his problem in Cleveland was LeBron.
Well,
no,
Kyrie wants the
the
spotlight.
only reason he sniffed the championship.
Time out. Hold on.
But Kyrie wants the spotlight, right, in his mind. But then when he gets there, and everything's not rainbows and ponies, then he doesn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So he wants it when it's all positive, but when it's negative, he has no idea how to handle it.
Could you imagine Kyrie playing in the Boston Garden in the 70s, in the 80s?
As an opponent?
As an opponent.
Oh, it would have been awful.
What would have he done at that
He
point?
probably would have pulled out a gun and shot somebody.
Gilbert Arenas, but instead of the locker room, all the way to the floor.
I think Boston Tim said it, the other day when when y'all were talking about it, and it was hardcore and brutal. I mean, that movie Celtic Pride, kind of poked fun at, they end up kidnapping, these two idiots end up kidnapping an opposing player, which is played by Damon Wayans.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's just torching them, and then they're going in the playoffs, and then, and it's all about how crazy those fans are, and it's true. I think it's dumbed down quite a bit with, society today, being a little more accepting, but it's nuts up there. And in the 70s, I don't think he would have made it out alive.
My thing is let the fans use their words, use their comments, whatever, as long as they're not throwing water bottles or even. Not like it's going to hurt, but popcorn. But still, don't be throwing things at people, and I think we're good. Who has more to prove?
I would say earlier today, I heard a story today when Matt Barnes was in a playoff game. Somebody, it was like the season after he got arrested for like that shooting thing that happened at a club, and a fan brought in a full-size cardboard cutout of him wearing a jail suit, and he was taunting him the whole entire game and like trying to get into his head. And he thought it was pretty cool. Barnes did that after the game. He actually went to the guy and talked to him, and then he actually signed it, like the cardboard cutout and everything. He thought it was funny. He thought it was
That's
pretty
awesome.
Cool. So, I mean,
Kyrie, sign cutouts. There you go.
Sign cutouts. Or you could be like Devin Booker and be everybody's favorite fist bump babies.
Yeah.
And out for 3 weeks.
That hurt his wrist, huh?
All right. Man, we don't got time for it. We're going to lead off with this next defend your stance here at the 5 at 5. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Quick timeout. Be right back with a 5 at 5.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is the Panhandle's destination for the Atlanta Braves.
Got him, swinging strike three.
Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves are back.
Unbelievable.
And hungry for more. Listen to the world champion Atlanta Braves on a world champion radio station.
Rosario knocked the living daylights out of it.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Let your spring adventure begin at Billboard Kia. Stop by today to discover why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a 2022 Kia Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorrento. Billboard Kia is not only the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillboardKia.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for the purchase of a new 2022 Forte, K5, Soul, and Sorrento with $21.65 per month per 1,000 financed at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billboard Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 5/2/22.
Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers on Panama City Beach. Fresh, never frozen chicken tenders fried to perfection and served with their famous signature Guthrie sauce. Guthrie's box, snack, and chicken sandwich are sure to please. And for larger gatherings, try the family meal or Guthrie's Chicken Finger Bucket. Let Guthrie's cater your next event. Find their daily specials on Facebook, on Front Beach Road across from the Beach Shopping Center. Since 1965. Fresh, hot, and fast. Now available on DoorDash and Uber Eats.
Atlanta Braves play here. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see him today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the Shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
The number one SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. Live from the Rib Crib Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Oh, we're live, man. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This hour number 2. I got to turn this off or you guys are going to lose your lunch. Oh, David, you better be clapping off beat if you're clapping like Greg. David Hayes, Caveman Rick, Kyle Wright, Adam Goff. In the next segment, we're going to have the real fishing report. Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle puts that on. Tim Braddock gives us a great rundown of what's going on here in Northwest Florida dealing with fishing, man. And I'm excited every time for that segment. It's going to be the 3rd edition of that. I missed last week, but I was listening, and I'm just jotting down notes, man, getting ready for my next time out on the water, which should be very soon.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulty last week when he was on, but we pushed through and we got, made sure we got everything in there for everybody on the fishing report. So Looking forward to what he has to say.
Yeah, we had a
today.
little backlash, but we worked it out.
We're working on the repercussions right now. You guys are.
All right, so before we get into what we have planned for the 5 at 5, and you know how those things go, who has more to prove this year out of Tua Tagovailoa or Saquon Barkley? And you're answering first, Kyle,
I mean,
right?
it's easy to me, right? Obviously, it's got to be Tua. I mean, they gave you everything that you could possibly need to be a quarterback in the NFL. What's Tua's strong game? The short game. So they go out and they get you Tyreek Hill. They go out and they get you, I mean, obviously you've got Jalen Waddle, your college teammate. They go out and get you Cedric Wilson. They go out and get you Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Teron Armstead to cover you. Or to guard
Williams as well.
Yeah, Connor Williams as well. No excuse for Tua. You got to prove that you were worth the hashtag tank for Tua, the whole thing, the whole $100,000 of loss that was originally planned for this guy. You got to prove that you were worth all of this drama, all of this nonsense that the Dolphins organization has been through since they drafted this kid, or since they even talked about drafting this kid. It's time to put up or shut up.
It's a good take. I mean, I don't know if that's Tua's fault as much as it is Stephen
but-
Ross's fault, but
Or Flores' fault.
or Flores'
But
fault.
There's no excuse anymore.
You're 100% right with both of these guys, and the comparison here, the similarities here is the proneness to injury, right?
Right.
And so that's if you're Saquon Barkley as a running back, you've only got 3.5 years really to prove it. If you get hurt this year, is another team really your value drops
Ask Todd Gurley.
tremendously. Todd Gurley actually put statistics up for a year, brought the Rams to the Super Bowl, and got hurt. So and has never been the same, or was never the same guy again. So for me, because of, I don't want to steal your answer, and I feel like that's where you're going to be going, but because of the pieces that they've put around Tua, that's the reason for me that it is going to be Tua. But if you're Saquon Barkley and knowing that your quarterback is Daniel Jones, you've got a lot to be able to prove there, right? Because you can be a shining light, and you could be a Hector Green in the Cincinnati Reds roster.
Yeah, good point. I think
I
Barkley's
already
got
won.
a lot to prove. I mean, like, the dude's been injured more than Tua, as far as I'm concerned. And like Dave said, the fact that, shelf life on the running back is very small, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time to prove him. We already talked about, or not a great quarterback, not a great receiving core. So obviously the running game's not going to be opened up. They're going to be able to stack the box against Saquon. So really, it's going to be tough for him. Like you said, Tua, he's got all the weapons now, and no excuses really. But I think Saquon's got more to prove. Tua can actually maybe another year or two. He maybe can go to another team, but Saquon, if he fails this year, he's done. I think he's out of the league.
I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, especially with the short shelf life of an NFL running back. I just one more thing I wanted to make sure I pointed out. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You already said it. Tua, prove you can win. Saquon, prove you can stay healthy. AJ?
Right. Well, I mean, obviously we've all seen the talent that Saquon has, right? It's just his ability to stay on the field. Last year he comes back, has a great game, if I'm not mistaken, against the Saints in a win in overtime, and just put up just monster numbers, and particularly in the passing game, where I think that's where he's going to have to show his value this season coming up for the Giants, is going to have to be in the passing game, because you can't run behind that line. So if he's going to do it and he's going to make a difference, he's going to have to do it in the passing game as well, and help his quarterback out, because if he's not able to, number one, stay healthy, and number two, put up some kind of statistics to show that he still has value, that dude is done. Now, if Tua comes out there and lays an egg with an offensive-minded head coach, he's got the two running backs. Now he's got more weapons on the outside. If he comes out there and lays an egg, he's done after this year.
And on top of that, the offense that Mike McDaniels is bringing in is very similar to the offense that he ran at Alabama. On top of that, this is the closest that Tua's had to the receivers, the type of receivers, the level of receivers that he's had since being at Alabama. So, it's put up or shut up time for both of these guys right here, and we'll be wrestling with it all year long, just like 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is presenting Wrestling Against Cancer 7. All proceeds are going to be benefiting Mosley High School student Kendall Susie. Doors open 5:30, bell time 6:30. Tickets $12. Ages 6 to 10 get in for 10. 5 and under get in free. This is Saturday, April 30th. Mark your calendars for it now. It's right down there at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Going to be a great time, but more importantly, all the proceeds are going to benefit Mosley High School senior Kendall, Susie. Let's get into our top 5 here. We're going to go to, do y'all want to do current receivers, current wide receivers? We're going to do top 5 current receivers and then top 5 all-time receivers for me. And we'll just do our 5 continuously rather than bouncing back and forth between 4 people and try to get it. So I'm going to go a tie at 5, Jamar Chase, Davonte Adams. Because Jamar Chase hasn't proven it over a long time. Davonte Adams has. However, now let's see how good Davonte Adams actually is with the quarterback of Derek Carr. Number 4 for me is CeeDee Lamb. The explosion that he's made over there in Dallas. I think he's a fun guy to watch, you know. Number 3, and statistically, I don't even know if a lot of people would put him up there in the top 5. I just enjoy watching the guy play wide receiver. Number 3 for me is going to be Justin Jefferson up there in Minnesota, and the guy that it replaced is going to be number 2 and Stephon Diggs. Him being the number 1, he was number 2 in Minnesota, goes over to Buffalo. Now all of a sudden, the dude, he was a stud in Minnesota. Whatever the next level over stud is, that's what Stephon Diggs is, number 1 now. And then number 1 is going to be Cooper Kupp. I mean, triple crown. I don't know if you can go any other way.
It's a good list. I can give you my 5 in no particular order, just real quick. I mean, yeah, Cooper Kupp, Diggs, Adams, Jefferson, and I don't want to pick all 5 of yours exactly the same. That wouldn't probably be great. But
it's off the
DeAndre
head.
Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins.
You can't forget about him. I mean,
just
because the quarterback hasn't been so great right now lately, I mean, he's still a phenomenal, wide receiver.
It's the same way with kind of like Julio and DeAndre, but DeAndre's got the edge now. Like, it's not even a
Julio's
question.
falling off the table lately.
Well, watch what I tell you. Like, in the next 2 years, DeAndre is going to be right there in that same boat. It's already trajecting that way. Because if he was healthy at the end of the year, we could be talking about a different Kyler Murray narrative right now.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray's dealing with his own nonsense right now. That team is just burning around him.
Yeah.
Because of him.
But if he looked better in that playoff game, if they put up a fighting chance, if he had a wide receiver there that actually caught the ball instead of running away from it, who knows?
I love these lists so far, gentlemen. Number 5, I've got a tie between Davonte Adams and DK Metcalf. I think DK's got to get some love up there. I don't really like the guy too much, but, I mean, look at the numbers since 2019. There's almost been nobody better.
Yeah.
Number 4, I've got Justin Jefferson. I mean, come on, man. The dude broke a rookie record, came out in the second year with the sophomore slump that everybody supposedly has. He didn't have it. There was no sophomore slump. He almost had a better season. Number 3, Tyreek Hill, new Miami Dolphin. I just think the playmaking ability, once he catches the ball, the run after the catch ability separates him from the pack. Number 2, I'm going to tight end, but I'm going to say this because he led the NFL in receiving in 2021, and it's a hard argument not to make. I'm going to go Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great pick.
Imagine his production this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be there, right?
It's going to skyrocket.
And then number 1.
Or he's going to be locked down.
Number 1, I can't believe neither one of you guys did it. And it's I guess that's an argument with the receivers because kind of like what we say with running backs, the shelf life of a receiver, the elite status is really about 2 to 3 years, right? Maybe a little longer in today's era.
It's that second contract.
Right. It's the second contract when a receiver starts to maybe downslope a little bit. But Cooper Kupp, come on, man. Dude should have been the MVP.
We said him. Can't forget Cooper Kupp. He was number 1 on both of our lists.
Was he?
Yeah. I've been preaching Cooper Kupp all season.
They're just pretty, huh?
That's the guy that helped me win my money fantasy league.
Good Lord.
On the Cooper Kupp bandwagon.
To be honest with you, I'm sitting over here working on those as we go.
What did those cost you?
They cost me my...
Should be free.
Cost me
like they aren't working.
My legitimacy as a radio host.
Okay, there we go. All right, fantastic.
They cost me my pride.
Right.
They cost me.
AG, it's up on you, buddy.
Number 5 for me is Hill.
Tyreek Hill?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Number 4 is Cooper Kupp. Number 3, I've got Jefferson because I think that dude is just an absolute monster. And
if you say number 1, Jamar Chase.
If he's anywhere in your top 5.
I had Jamar Chase at my top 5.
Yeah. After a rookie season?
Tied with Davonte.
Number 2, Jamar Chase.
Get out of town.
At least he wasn't number 1.
All right, I'm changing my pick. Jalen Waddle's number 1.
Okay, have at it.
Yeah, do it. It's your picks.
Hey, didn't you just say earlier before we went to break or whatever that sometimes Homer picks are the good ones?
Yeah, unless they're wrong.
Oh, okay.
Unless they're wrong.
Number 1 for me is Davonte Adams. We'll see what he does in Vegas, but, I mean, that dude has been absolutely legit.
How about an honorable mention? I was going to say to Debo just because he's been in the news lately, but honorable mention.
He's a running back, yeah.
Wide back.
No, he's a wide receiver.
He's a wide back
that catches the ball sometimes.
He's a wide receiver.
We'll see.
Wide receiver.
That's the whole reason. This is the whole problem of why he doesn't
70% wide receiver, 30% running back.
Look at the last 7 games counting the playoffs. He ran the ball just as much as he caught it.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that he wants to do that, but Kyle Shanahan put him in the position for him to even be in the position that he's in the position he is.
That catches
the reason why he's able to demand what he's demanding for now is because of the position he was put in by the coaching staff and the way they utilized him.
Yeah.
Had they not done that, he wouldn't be able to do what he's doing right now.
It's a good point. Or you could be like Ryan Spader. As fans, we just need to enjoy the game. I don't think that we're going to have enough time for our top 5 wide receivers of all time. Maybe we'll come back to that at 5:30 instead of rapid fire. We'll play it by ear. Let's go ahead and get to a break so that way we can get to what matters. The Real Fishing Report with Tim Braddock, y'all. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. It's 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. If you're in Marianna, it's 102.1. Pick us up on your dial. Stick with us.
With a forecast overnight, mostly clear skies on the low 60s, a south wind becoming east and around 10 miles per hour. High pressure is going to work overtime to give us a nice Friday and weekend. Mostly sunny skies, low 80s on Friday, and it'll stay around 80 to 85 over the weekend. We'll go with partly to mostly sunny skies. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents Wrestling Against Cancer number 7. In the main event, Chief Little Bear versus Kelly Man. Plus, exciting women's wrestling Saturday, April 30th at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Doors open at 5:30, bell time 6:30. Tickets $12. Ages 6 to 10 only $10. 5 and under free. Proceeds benefit mostly high school student Kendall Susie. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
It's the cooling season, and time to call Steverson Air Conditioning for your preventative maintenance to keep your air conditioning system operating at full capacity. Steverson Air Conditioning has preventative maintenance programs, and they service all makes and models. Steverson Air Conditioning offers air duct cleaning. Steverson Air Conditioning has after-hours service and free estimates on a system change-out or duct cleaning. Call them at 248-1109.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're riding shotgun with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to need some gas money. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Fill her up, please.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, 102.1 in the Marianna area. This is the Real Fishing Report brought to you by Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. We've got Tim Braddock in the building with us. Let me turn his mic up real quick. Tim, what's going on, brother?
Man, we got some pretty big news today. The state just made a pretty big announcement for the snapper fishermen about 5 hours ago, too. So, but probably the biggest news coming out of the Panhandle this week is going to be a bluefin tuna that was caught out of Destin, 832 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Crazy. I saw them towing expensive it in sushi. On video.
Yeah, that's some expensive sushi right there. And those boys, Jake and the crew of the No Name, fought that fish for about 4 hours. And landed that tuna. They're looking for official confirmation from the state, but once that happens, and they'll have the state record for bluefin caught.
What I loved about that story is that was just another private charter.
Yeah,
like they weren't professionals. They weren't going out there to do this. This just happened.
Yeah, they were out recreational.
Didn't you say there was 2 guys though that caught this thing? They fought it for that time, correct?
You need
so there's at least 3 that were reported on the boat. I don't know exactly
because you have to only have
many,
one person holding the rod to be an IGFA. As soon as you hand that rod off to somebody else, that record's
correct.
kaput, right?
But this has been confirmed officially by FWC, so it'd be a state record.
Okay.
But I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny.
I'm a fishing aficionado, man. I love fishing. I've been fishing since I was like 2.
I loved seeing the video where they were bleeding it out as they were dragging it back, and people were commenting saying, "Aren't you worried about sharks?" And they were like, "Yeah, there's not a shark in these waters that can handle this fish."
Yeah,
so that was pretty funny.
Fish, so, so that was the big news of the week, and we also these wins have been consistent. I call them Wednesday wins because it's been for the past 3 weeks. It seems like every Wednesday we get gusts 20 to 20 miles an hour.
East
and
winds.
this week in particular on the weather report, that's one of the things we'll talk about is we have this east wind. It's going to be here at least through Monday. So fishing, when winds are out of the east, fishing is at its least. And so it is going to be a little bit more difficult this coming week or this coming weekend with those winds coming out of the east. But there's still plenty of fish to be caught. So we're just sitting here talking with Caveman Rick, and there's fish in all these waters. So our number one rule to fishing is get out when you can. And I think all of us probably have good stories of when we caught fish when we weren't supposed to, right?
If that line ain't wet, you ain't catching none.
Yeah. If you're sitting at home, you're definitely not catching. Make sure you're tuning in to ESPN 104.3 for the fishing report.
Yes, sir. 5:15 every Thursday.
Yeah, while you're out on the beach. But let's talk a little bit about offshore. Again, this weekend, all seas are projected to be 3 to 6 feet all weekend long. So it's going to be a little rough. There'll be some diehard guys that get out this weekend and give it their best effort. It makes it a little bit more difficult to try to fish for cobia. There will be some kings caught again this weekend. That water temp's finally starting to get about where we need it to be. Last weekend, most all the kings that were reported to us that were caught were about 8 to 10 miles out. So we should see that starting to move a little bit more inland, probably the middle of next week. If I had to put a pretty good guess, educated guess on it. So offshore is again should be moderate this weekend. Inshore, a lot of my guides are reporting it's relatively slow. A few fish caught here and there. Redfish are abundant, and you're able to find them in the slot limits. It's just you're gonna have to pick your locations well, and particularly if you're inshore, you're gonna pay more close attention to the tides and fish on that rising tide, particularly close to that high tide time. And then let's talk about the surf. Again, we talked about it pretty extensively over the past 3 weeks. The surf will start to kind of level out, if you would, and some of these other types of fishing, particularly with red snapper coming in the season now that we know of in June. Some of this stuff will start to fade out a little bit, but the surf fishing right now is still fantastic. Probably the most underrated fish or least talked about fish from surf right now is going to be the black drum. And we have had, over the past week, we have had almost every single day customers bringing in pictures of 35 to 45 pound black drum being caught from the surf.
Whoa.
And so some pretty big black drum, big uglies, absolutely cruising around out there. And one lady in from South Carolina brought a rod and reel, and that she landed the fish, but that big ugly absolutely demolished her gear.
No.
So, but she had a pretty
using
cool
like a
story to
Zebco
tell.
33 or something like that.
She was using it was a little 7-foot, 3,000 size spool, and pulled it in the water. Sand spike and all went, and we get to hear these stories a lot, but it was just neat. I mean, it pulled the rod, broke the rod in half. The gears were completely stripped out from where they tried to over torque on the fish. So they practically hand lined the thing in from surf. And I think a lot of us have probably caught a fish a time or two on a piece of gear we weren't supposed to.
Not that big, though, for me anyway.
Yeah. So, again, and a lot of that's been on just dead shrimp. And if you can get crab, if you got a crab trap or can net a crab, just take a blue crab. And both the larger redfish as well as the black drum, obviously, will enjoy those. Enjoy that bait as well.
Don't throw away the claws. They love the claws as well.
Absolutely. Keep them on. And so that's pretty much a summary of the fishing report we've seen this week. Let's talk about the product focus side. So Florida Sportsman put out an article a couple weeks ago about the use of artificial baits from surf. There's two major brands that you'll see throughout really the entire state of Florida. And that's going to be Fish Gum and Fish Bites.
Mm-hmm.
The other cool thing, both of these products are made in Florida. So Fish Gum is made in Navarre, Florida, which is locally here in the Panhandle. And then Fish Bites is manufactured over in St. Augustine. And so these synthetic baits are great to use from surf. Oftentimes in the shop, we recommend pairing them with a frozen bait. So you can take a sand flea, you can take a shrimp, and pair that with your fish bite or your fish gum.
I've actually tipped my pompano jigs and such, just throwing those out there and tipping that with like the fish bites and fish gum and such, and using that for the scent and some of the color, and that's actually helped get some bites. That's
a great application on those jigs. One of the other places we're starting to see them use it is offshore, going trigger fishing. And they'll use a little Eagle Claw laser sharp 1/0 hook, and they'll tab what they call the easy squid from Fish Gum right onto the hook, and they'll catch triggerfish. It's a pretty durable bait if you know anything about the two products, and for those that don't, we'll just kind of give you a quick rundown. We use it for two primary purposes. It's going to be scent-based, so it releases a scent and attractant for the fish, as well as it retains the bait. So it has a cheesecloth-like material in the middle of it. So when you put it on your hook, it's very difficult to get. You got to use a pair of pliers. In other words, it's not just going to fall off, or a fish isn't just going to sit there and pick it off.
Or kind of like bass fishermen using like a pork chunk on a jig, same kind of thing, where it's real tough to get off. It's going to be on there for a while. And don't let it dry out. If you let it dry out on a hook, it's pretty much done.
And that's a great point. So to extend the life, you can put both of these products in the refrigerator. We do get asked that question a lot. You can keep them up to a year in the refrigerator. And I talked with Tony, who is the owner of Fish Gum, this morning.
Great YouTube channel on that guy, too.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a fantastic YouTube channel.
Funny.
And he brought out a couple good points about those. You have those two products in our shop. A lot of times we'll say, we get asked, which one's better, Fish Gum or Fish Bites? And I can tell you from personal experience on two different occasions, I've been in the exact same holes and caught the exact same number of fish. On two different rods, obviously, comparing the two products. And they're both quality products. There are some on the market that are out there that try to imitate what they manufacture. They look plastic. They look hard. We do not recommend using those. But pair these artificial baits on. Just gives it that extra scent and bait retention to be able to help hold the bait on.
Stay away from the ones that look like licorice.
There you go.
That's what it is.
That's it. That's exactly them. So they look like licorice.
I'm not lying. They look just like licorice. It's crazy. Like there's this like sheen to it.
It's a shiny sheen.
It's a really shiny kind of product, and it looks like licorice.
Yeah, and you can find Fish Bites and Fish Gum. We stock both at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, and you can find both of those products in most of your local bait and tackle shops in the Panhandle as well. And that's a really neat thing about Fish Gum. A lot of the local bait and tackle shops have been very supportive in stocking their product. And you can buy it online as well, but certainly go by and get the latest update from your local bait and tackle shop.
Cool. I imagine that application you were talking about with the trigger fishing, though, using the same setup for possibly like mangrove snapper, because small hook, like you were saying, that bait, the scent, everything's really good. They have really good eyesight, so they won't see that hook, and also sees that bait there as long as you're using a light enough line. Obviously, if you have a thicker line, they might get line shy. They might see that and shy away. But that'd probably work. I might have to try that.
Yeah, use like a 15-pound disappearing pink or coral pink. Depends on which manufacturer, but it is a disappearing fluoro line, and you would do pretty well.
Yeah.
How often do fish get line shy?
Depends on the fish.
Depends on
and
the
depends
fish.
On how
which
thick, how big
fish
of line
are the ones that we've been talking about? Yeah, I was looking at you. Sorry, that's the angle of my chair. Sorry. But which fish are more apt to having the vision to notice the line?
Yeah, so we do, in our shop particularly, we recommend using a fluorocarbon on any fish that's not in the mackerel family particularly. That fluoro is going to make it invisible. The way that product is designed is to make it less visible to the fish. And so a lot of times in like a mono, there's a high probability that they can see, particularly if you are in inland waters and you're fishing with a 60-pound leader for whatever reason. And we see stuff like that. When you own a bait and tackle shop, people are just fishing with what they have.
Yeah.
But when you go out and you're really trying to land, exactly.
That's why I'm asking questions. That's why I love this segment, man. I'm learning.
You just come in and again, we recommend using a fluorocarbon leader. There's several good brands out there. Cigar makes a good one. Florida
Berkeley
Fishing
Vanish.
Products. Berkeley Vanish is another great one. A lot of my bass guys are huge into the Berkeley side. So
that's where I came from. Living up north and bass fishing, and I just kind of transitioned into the inshore down here. But it's a lot of the same kind of baits, a lot of the same tackle in a lot of ways.
Yep.
So
and even on like our freshwater setups, we use Berkeley fluoro to spool the entire reels with.
Yeah.
Whereas like when I
use braid, but yeah.
Yeah, when we're surf fishing, a lot of times we'll use braid in that instance, and then use a fluorocarbon leader at that
like
point.
a uni knot fluorocarbon
Exactly.
leader, and that's what I do like all the time, and I love it. That's my favorite kind of fishing.
Yeah, those uni to uni knots. If you are not experienced or haven't tried a uni to uni knot, you will change your fishing game. By cutting out that swivel and tying in a uni knot.
The less terminal tackle you have, the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as far as the finicky fish and more shy fish that I've encountered, sheep's head is probably number one. They're very, very smart. They've got human teeth, which I don't know if that makes them smarter or not, but it does, I guess. Redfish can be very, very skittish and very kind of, sharp about what's going on. Black drum, not so much, but pompano can be kind of finicky as well.
Yeah, redfish.
They can get skittish.
Redfish, especially when you're starting to get in on the flats, when they're
like real
cruising,
shallow.
when they're creeping in that water, and you see them telling. They
best.
really are very spooky at that point, and a
they're
lot of the
vulnerable.
same principles apply on the fly fishing side. We love, and that's kind of the world I tend to follow after. So we have a custom rig we set up in shop called the Lawless Popper, and it's basically just a popping cork with a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader, and then we tie a little bucktail jig on it with a little 16-ounce head, and we catch redfish, we catch trout, and we catch mangrove snapper off that exact same setup. And as they're creeping through, as those redfish are creeping through on those flats, that's why we use that fluorocarbon leader and we use a small hook. So hook concealment's a pretty big. We could spend a whole segment on talking about hook concealment. But you can't catch them if you don't cast it where they're at, though.
Yeah.
To start with, so yeah, that's again. There's a lot of good content and a lot of different types of fishing in this area. Like we said at the beginning or before the segment, man, anywhere there's water in Florida, you can about go catch a fish.
No doubt.
So.
You want to get into this weather forecast for the weekend?
Yeah, let's talk about the weather really quickly. We mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but we're expecting an easterly flow all weekend, and those winds really are going to be building late at night on into the morning, and what you'll see is a lot of what we saw today. The whole weekend's pretty much going to be a carbon copy, where really your afternoon fishing's going to be, your afternoon time's going to be best for fishing. So if you can go out from 2 to 4 o'clock, you'll probably catch pompano this weekend. And then if you can spend a little bit of extra time, there's a high probability you'll get into some of those larger redfish that are coming to feed just before sunset. So
All right.
Do fish sleep?
That's such a great question.
They rest. They take a dormant.
I was going to say, do they need 8? They're good 8 hours like we do?
Yeah.
What is 8 hours?
Sharks,
Well, you have a
sharks
kid.
can't though because they got to keep swimming to keep water over the gills. If they sit, they're
they
gonna
can.
die.
Well, they can sit
They'll
in
drown.
current. They can sit in current.
Yeah, they're not.
He's like,
they're
are you
hitting
guys
snooze
are
like
you
10
trolling me
times
right now?
over and over.
Yeah, man. Great question. Do fish sleep? We're trying to catch fish, not just do scientific studies on them. 21301 Panama City Beach Parkway, Panama City Beach, Florida. That's where you can go check out Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, man. Anything you want to leave us with today, Tim?
Just get out this weekend. Again, it's going to be a nice, the weather's going to be beautiful. Spend time, get out. Take somebody with you.
Yeah.
Take a kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Take a kid fishing.
You can absolutely change a kid's life, taking them out and going to fishing.
And real quick
Cool little story about that, though. In our neighborhood, they're building a lot of houses or whatnot, and, you know, some of the kids would be getting involved in not getting involved, messing around with the construction and stuff like that. So one of the guys who is ahead of the construction or whatever bought all the kids fishing poles because there's some ponds around or whatever. So now, instead of them messing with the construction, you see a whole bunch of kids with fishing poles and tackle boxes heading down to the water. So
That's
cool
awesome.
story
I say
there.
if you take a kid though, definitely try to go, even if it's not like game fish, so that they can go and like catch something the first couple times they go. So they're actually doing something. They're not sitting there like on a bucket or on a tackle box playing around. If they're actually catching something, that's what'll get them hooked. Even if it's just like brim,
Pinfish,
they call them down, or brim or whatever, or if they're just catching chofas or pinfish or whatever, just something that'll get that, you know, pole bending over and that line a little tight, and they'll have a blast.
Yeah, those pinfish are very active. Just a very small piece of shrimp.
Nuisance.
And yeah,
they're also
they're
good
nuisance.
bait.
But if you're trying to get a kid to catch a fish,
You've been bad for this segment,
they
Adam.
provide a lot of good activity.
We do have one more. I know that you're more on the saltwater side of things,
Sure.
but my dad's a freshwater fisherman, right? State Chris says, where are the best places around here for bass, large and smallies?
So if you want to, particularly if you want to drive, go north of town up into the Funiac. There's quite a few of those freshwater springs. There's some public areas up there where the springs still have the lily pads in them, and you can. I mean, I've been up there paddleboard fishing before, and literally seen them dart up under my paddleboard. The water's so crystal clear.
Yeah.
That's where that fluorocarbon comes in, because they are
Hard to
very
catch.
skittish at that point. So it's kind of sneak in with a paddleboard in these lily pad areas. And I go up there with just an old wacky rig, usually like a pumpkin color worm or a purple colored worm, and do pretty good. So.
Not too many smallmouth around here. You need like running water, or you need some deep cold water for smallies. So you're not going to find a lot around here.
Tim, thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, that is the Real Fishing Report, and that's as real as it gets, and it will be back next Thursday, 5:15. You can also hear it tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for a summarized version of that. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Quick timeout. We'll be right back in about 2.5 minutes.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Love it. It's my favorite. My favorite.
Talking tough, trash, in your face. They get right up next to each other, right to nose to nose. Now you got my attention. It's a spectacle. I get it. What did we learn about some of these teams and players, and who are you all in on? We will be broadcasting from the Man Cave in New York City, Major League Baseball, and the world of sports. Plus a few surprises that you've come to expect. That's coming up right here.
9 to 11 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with today's Car Clinic Minute. Taking a back seat used to mean second best, but no more. I've got news that'll make the back seat a happening place to be. When I come back, I'll tell you all about it.
The Car Clinic Minute.
It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center in hometown towing.
If drive-in movies were the last time you had fun in the back seat, you're in for a treat. Visteon's aftermarket rear seat entertainment system offers a fully integrated mobile entertainment system packaged in a center console. It features a 6.4-inch flip-up LCD screen, a video cassette player, and video plug-and-play capability. Now your kids can play Nintendo on long trips, and you can enjoy drive-in movies from the back seat without ever leaving your garage. I'm Bobby Like Us. Like us, you'll love us.
His cologne is made out of tiger blood. He's seen every Vin Diesel movie and... winning. He's dating your daughter. David Hayes is part of the Afternoon Underdogs. Live from the Rib Crib Radio Room, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
I need some of that, man. Let me get some money, bro, because I'm just not rich.
Well, we got to go spend it at Baby.
Yeah, I'm like $1 million shy of being a millionaire.
That's it, huh?
That
So
is
close.
it.
So close.
Y'all want to get into the top 5 wide receivers of all time? I just did a quick stair run. It's important for me to keep my peak physical shape up in between
Get
breaks.
the cardio in, yeah.
Yeah. Breaths of fresh air all around. We can do that, or we can get into some rapid fire. We got about 12 minutes here in this segment.
My vote's rapid fire, but whatever you guys want.
All right, so let's do rapid fire. Would you rather take one punch from Tyson or a kick to the head from George St. Pierre?
Well, judging from the last 12 hours.
That's how this even came up. So go ahead and get into what Mike Tyson did, protecting airplanes.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video, just go on YouTube and look up Mike Tyson punches dude on an airplane, and you'll see that Mike Tyson has a tendency to pull his punches a little bit nicer when he's punching guys like me and you. So I'm gonna go with taking the punch from Mike Tyson.
Ooh, what you got?
Well, I mean, we saw him knock out what is it? The guy from The Office, Andy Bernard on. Ed Helms, I think is his name.
Yeah, that was
right?
Galifianakis.
Yeah. Oh, was it Galifianakis?
Yeah, in the Hangover,
was it
right?
Galifianakis?
Yeah, Hangover.
Yeah, he hit him. Yeah. No, so yeah, I think I would rather go Tyson, man. Something about a foot to the head just. No, I've seen too many knockouts.
I was trying
You
so
guys
hard.
are crazy.
I was trying so hard to think of something that would even compare to taking a punch from somebody like Mike Tyson, even at the age that he's at now. Same with GSP, but where you at?
I was a kid in the 80s. I had Mike Tyson's punch out. Are you crazy? I'll take a kick in the head from anybody else. I ain't letting Mike Tyson punch me, son. That guy will knock my head off.
Do you think that you could punch a ball further or kick a ball further?
Mike Tyson, if he hits you with the fist, it doesn't matter. You're done.
I don't know. There was a guy who survived it.
I know of a guy recently.
The guy on the plane he's going to be that millionaire here soon.
Hey, but do y'all have any problem with what Mike did on the airplane?
No, I don't know the full story. I saw the video, but I don't know exactly all the details.
Basically, you got a guy behind him.
You got to be better than that.
I was about to say, hop on the mic if you want to with this one. So you had a guy behind him on the airplane, and he was just kind of like, looked like he was flicking his ear, kind of tapping on, like not just bothering him. And he was drunk, so next thing you know, the video's like, 50 seconds long, and the next thing you know, Tyson's just, I wouldn't even call him jabs, like hitting him with, like, Jackie Chan punches. No, like 1-inch punches, like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like, really saving the guy's life. Mike's really calmed it down later on in the years with his,
if he hits you with everything he had, you're done.
We have an acronym that we use in the Panama City softball community. It's FAFO. If you don't know what it means, go look it up.
I thought that was FPB.
No, there's that one too.
What do you got on it, Justin, though?
Well, and, he warned him several times, like, hey, man, stop, leave me alone. And even in the extended video, you could see him just, be quiet, leave me alone. And the guy just continued. And so, I mean, I think the guy had it coming. I think if we had more of that, there'd be less aggravation in this world.
Let's go.
No doubt. That's a great take, Justin. NASCAR or golf, quickly?
Golf.
Golf.
NASCAR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Split it there. What you got, Justin? NASCAR or golf?
Golf.
All
There
right.
you go.
Does Philly finish Toronto with a sweep?
No.
I don't think so. That's tough, man.
Yes,
Getting
it is
that
tough,
fourth
but
game
I
is
say
always
yes.
the toughest.
I say yes.
Let's do one at a time here, fellas.
Sorry.
And I'm saying that. No, we all answered in unison right there. So hey, we're good, though. We'll just move it on along. Reds or Rangers? This is for my fellow Seeing Reds podcast. Give them another plug real quick. Reds or Rangers will finish with a worse record.
Who has less talent?
The Reds do.
Right now, I say Reds.
Right now, I say Reds. I want to say Rangers, though, because what's the bigger atrocity? You guys can finish wherever, and it's almost like
Rangers
the
spent more money.
expectation.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
they
with,
spent like
just to be
$350
different,
million.
and because I'm still holding out hope, because that's what the Reds are built on, hope, right? And that's
Get
our
that plug in
tagline.
there.
That's our tagline. And the Rangers play in a much better division than the Reds play in. So, and
Yes.
I'm going to say simply because of that.
Fair enough. I already said. I think,
you did.
the Reds are going. Yeah.
How about you,
winning.
Justin?
Yeah, same. I mean, I think that no matter what, like you said, that even if the Reds finish terribly, everybody's like, okay, so what? But if the Rangers finish terribly, it's like, what happened?
Yeah, we'll still get
What
our
are you
golf in. If the Reds do that, it'll just be par for the course.
There you go.
How about that?
That was pretty good.
I like that.
Let's go NBA MVP. You only got 3 choices here. It's already whittled down to Embiid, Jokic, or Giannis Antetokounmpo. What do you got, AG?
I think give it to Jokic again.
Give it to Jokic again.
Mhm. He made the team. He made the playoffs with that team. No Jamal Murray all year. It's
Nah, Embiid, man, with all that circus having to do with Ben Simmons crap for that first part of the year, and then dealing with James Harden and his nonsense, man. Consistently playing great the whole season in spite of all this. Give it to Embiid.
I mean, I said Jokic as well. I mean, that's absolutely Jokic. I'm trying to go with tennis here.
What do you got?
I got nothing.
All right.
I mean, it's already been said, so.
Yeah, no
there's
doubt.
really not
I'm
much
gonna.
to say.
I'll go with Jokic on the. Embiid definitely deserves his time in the as the MVP. But this year, when you are the first person in history to create a club with the 1,000 points, 750 rebounds, whatever it was, that I'll go with Jokic just for that reason right there. NBA champion. Who you got at this point of the playoffs? Who's your NBA champion?
Warriors.
You
over the
could
Celtics.
say yours.
I'm not going.
You're
the
not
homer
gonna
pick
go?
here. I mean, look how good
Wow.
the Boston Celtics are gelling right now.
Yeah.
I think that now if this isn't it, we might see some implosion from Boston this offseason, because that would be that Jayson Tatum has to choke again. But for the sake of rapid fire, Boston.
If the Suns come back, healthy, I say the Suns still have a chance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Warriors over Celtics.
Warriors over Celtics. That would be a fantastic NBA championship. I want to see Warriors and Golden State in the West. And then, is it possible for Miami? They're 1-2, right? Miami and Boston.
1 and 2,
Yeah. So give me the top 2 seeds in each conference.
You
Right
mean Golden State and Phoenix?
I said Golden State and the Suns, right?
You
No,
said
you said
Warriors
Warriors and Golden State.
But yeah, if they play each other, then they're destined to win.
It's not as bad as
Yes,
Miami.
that's what I meant though. What took you guys so long to correct me on that? Like y'all are just
I
gonna
was
let me
waiting
die
for
on
the-
a shit out there?
I was waiting for Professor Plum to text in or something and correct you.
No,
myself.
I'm gonna die on the fun ship out there, bro. Like that's crazy that y'all are gonna let me go like a whole 2 minutes without.
I didn't let you go a whole 2 minutes. It was
Yeah,
like 15
man.
seconds.
No, man. I'm not.
I'm
not,
aboard the fun train.
No,
right?
I'm not in this for the fun of it. I'm in it to be correct. You
Okay,
know what I'm
I got
saying?
you.
That's what I'm trying to get at. First or second round for Chet Holmgren. What do you guys think? He declared for the NBA
He's gonna be
draft
number
today.
1 overall.
Huh?
He'll
He's
be
going number one overall. You
yes.
really think so?
Absolutely, 100%.
I just don't get the attraction with Chet
I guess
Holmgren.
My question would be
His
who's Chet
ceiling.
Holmgren?
His ceiling is.
I don't watch college
high.
basketball.
I know, and people keep saying that. I just don't get the attraction with him, though.
He's tall. He is lanky. He needs to put on some weight, but he can shoot. He's got moves down low. He can dribble with both hands. He can put it on the deck, and he can shoot with both hands. And the dude can fill it up. And I'm telling you right now, at his height in today's game, he will be good, and he will go number 1 overall.
All right. Well, I'm taking your word on it. I'm taking your word for it. Oh, real quick, before we get into the next segment, your thoughts on Jay Wright resigning abruptly from Villanova?
I get it. I mean, what else does he have to do? He's got 2 national titles. He brought Villanova back to prominence. They made another Final Four run this year. He's 60 years old. There's no reason to coach until you're 72, like all these other guys are doing and getting out. I mean, he's 60. He's still got a great role with the university. So I don't see the real big deal. I mean, it's shocking.
Yeah.
Just because he is, like, I think only 60 years
60
old.
years old. 60.
But, at the same time, I mean,
NBA former now.
No, he's got a new job with Villanova.
Oh,
he's staying there.
Okay.
So, but I think
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of this old guard of coaching is going to start bowing out because of the NIL and because of the transfer portal and everything else going on with the NCAA.
Still, it would still be fun if Doc Rivers were to, not work out with Philadelphia after this year. And I don't think Jay Wright. Yeah, but not. I think he would take a year off quite easily. Let's take a break real quick. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, 102.1 in the Marianna area. Quick timeout. Be right back.
For the forecast overnight, mostly clear skies, light winds, temperatures 60 to 65, and it'll be about 80 to 85 Friday, mostly sunny skies. Friday is going to be a good day to get the car washed because I don't see any rain over the weekend. And the weekend forecast is calling for spring sunshine, warm temperatures in the low 80s Saturday and Sunday, mostly clear Saturday night in the mid-60s or so. We'll keep you updated. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back.
Swing and a drive. That's hammered deep right. He jumped on one and hits a homer.
We're your exclusive radio home for the Atlanta Braves.
At the wall. It is gone. A grand slam for Acuna.
Hear every exciting home run, every strikeout, and every thrilling victory on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida are proud members of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We'd like to welcome the newest members to the Beach Chamber.
Balanced Beauty, Kamala's Catering Company, Coastline Productions, Condo Land Real Estate, and Daybreak Market and Fuel 7 LLC.
Congratulations from the area's only sports radio station, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Barberitos has been committed to serving farm fresh food since February 20th, 2000. For starters, Barberitos food is made with love, straight from the heart. Every morning we begin preparing our food from scratch, from chopping fresh tomatoes for sauces to mashing fresh avocados for guacamole. Barberitos cares about food. From serving char-grilled grass-fed beef as well as hormone-free chicken breasts to the amazing tofu for our vegan friends. Farm fresh is more than just a motto. It's Barberitos' mission.
Barberitos. We make it fresh, you make it yours. Dairyland is your land. It's car insurance that keeps you on the road so that you can make it to work on time. Its payment plans are flexible for when life gets complicated. It's affordable coverage to help you get back on the road again, even if you've taken a break. Because Dairyland is auto insurance that's customized to fit your life. Dairyland is your land.
Need a low down payment and a pay-as-you-go plan? We've got you covered. Ellis Agency Insurance, 763-1627.
Now back to the most dangerous afternoon show on terrestrial radio.
Danger's my middle name.
It's illegal in 5 states. The Afternoon Underdogs, inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You are listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm David Hayes along with Adam Goff, Kyle Wright, Caveman Rick, and Justin McGowan.
The Five Nation Army.
The Five Nation Army. Man, it has been a fun show, and I mean that so seriously. It's been such a fun show today. Arnold's Jonah Hammond has been named Coach of the Year. Second consecutive year that Coach Hammond has won the award after the Marlins finished this season 22-2-1, and they were the Class 5A state runners-up after last year winning the whole shebang national champions. They're going to have 4 senior starters graduate this season, and Hammond said he anticipates that they're going to be back to the same high standard next season.
How they have a tie?
I mean, they probably finished with the same score.
Well, I know, but I didn't know they tied it, though. You know what I'm saying? In college,
You're the guy who wants to bring ties back to hockey. So
yeah, because that's tradition. That's how it's supposed to be played, man.
The Philly guys, man. Y'all so silly. Arnold to host a sports science academy, which will be awesome. It's going to be a joint effort between the school and Dr. Frank Merritt. He works with elite athletes at the highest level. The academy is going to provide students the chance to explore options in terms of certification in exercise and in sports science. These programs combine sports science, health research, and hands-on applications alongside medical providers, with Dr. Merritt and his trainers overseeing the entire program.
Maybe they can get Chip Kelly.
I don't know that.
He was the guy that brought sports science into the NFL when he came to the Eagles from Oregon.
Only an Eagles fan is going to
know
know
that,
that,
I
dude.
just remember the failure.
College football.
I'm starting to think we shouldn't have complimented you to start this segment.
These are supposed to be the college football guys, and I'm the NFL guy, and they don't even know what I'm talking about. What the hell's going on here?
I mean,
I know who Chip Kelly is.
Right? Yeah, it's not about not knowing who Chip Kelly was.
I didn't understand
I
that.
just
That was
didn't
his
know that
thing,
he
sports science. That was his whole big thing.
I just didn't know that he brought sports science too. I didn't even know he was that smart of a guy.
He was easily forgettable.
His NFL career was.
Morgan Mahan, she's the catcher for the Weewalt Gators. She's on her way to the University of Florida, ranked number 2 in her 2022 class.
Big time softball.
Yeah, right. And then check this out though. So number 2 in her class, she's got a GPA of 4.2, and she's going to be going to Florida for what? To become a pharmacist. So, man, to juggle those two things, being a full-time college athlete and then going for a pharmacist, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great for her. The local kid that has all the scholarship offers, he's making national rounds now.
Oh, you're talking about Jonathan Walker.
Yes,
sir.
Impressive young man. I'm actually seeing him on some national news sites where they're discussing him and they're interviewing him and stuff. So
That
good
kid
for
is
that kid.
so cool, man. So intellectual and cool at the same time. It's like, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but it's like Stephon meets Steve Urkel, and it's like the same guy at the same time without having to get into the machine. You know what I'm saying? He's just that cool.
Yeah.
Like he's the smartest kid in the school, and he's playing football at the same time.
And what's kind of cool about this now too, when I was a kid growing up, and I'm older than some of you guys here, being smart and that wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you were just a nerd and people picked on you and nobody liked you if you were just smart and like some bookworm. But now, like over the last 15, 20 years, I guess is getting to the point where now being smart's the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So I wish it was like that more when I was a kid.
That's a great take, Caveman. Coming up next, we'll have Paul Feinbaum. Also, out at the beach, you have the NAIA beach volleyball tournaments going on. So right over here in our own backyard, you've got some big tournaments going on. So if you're interested in beach volleyball at all, why don't you go out there and check out what they've got going on, man. A lot of great stuff happening. So Bo Nix with Oregon or Spencer Rattler with South Carolina has a better statistical season next year. Both of these guys are transfers. One transferred from the SEC, one transferred to the SEC.
I say Knicks.
Oh,
I'm sorry, just because
you're good.
Pac-12's easy. That's my answer.
I'm going to go Rattler because the SEC East is probably easier than the Pac-12.
Wow, I don't think so, but that's crazy.
Ooh.
I'm not impressed by either of these kids, but Rattler is probably the one with a higher ceiling. So I'm going to go with Rattler, even though he's, playing in the SEC versus the Pac-12.
So Bo Nix, I don't want to say I liked him, but I liked him being the Auburn quarterback as an Alabama fan because it was like, hey, I could count on that. You know what I mean? But with Spencer Rattler, I didn't like, just his mannerisms, like the way that he was portrayed or whatever. Well, we had Chris Marler on with this with College Football Uncensored, and he was saying, he does believe that environment at Oklahoma was more toxic than maybe what people led on to be, and that's why you're seeing so many guys transfer out of that. I was under the impression, like, bro, you're saying that it's toxic because you're talking about 2 games that you weren't involved in, and so that's your reasoning. So I don't know if I believe that he's going to be the answer for South Carolina. I don't know if he moves the needle for him that much, but when it comes to statistically speaking, I'll say Spencer Rattler, and you're not far off. Compared the SEC West and the SEC East, and there's a staunch drop-off between 1 and 2 there, whereas name a weak team in the West.
Well, I hear you, but, the whole Pac-12's weak.
I think you're going to see a different Pac-12 with USC. I think UCLA is going to be much improved. Utah is great. I think you're going to see that week 1 in the Swamp. So that should be interesting. But I think the Pac-12 is going to be better than people think it is.
It's a lot of wishful thinking.
All right, we've only got 1 minute left today. It's been a fun ride. Don't forget tonight on the Right On Sports Show, Right Sports Group, we're going to be getting into the Go to Goats. It's the finale tonight, man. What's your final words of today, Kyle Wright?
Super excited. I can't wait to do this. It's been a fun 2.5 months of content that this has provided. It's all coming to a head with the ultimate crossover episode.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Man, key word there is fun, and we're going to leave you guys with that today. You've been riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Buckle up. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow at 4. Coach James Hale is off tomorrow, so we'll be getting you to Half a Dan Patrick and the Keyshawn and Jay Will, not Zubin, but Max Kellerman show. You guys have a great afternoon.